All right, we are live and recording. Welcome to Dr. Beth Power Hour. And we have a graduated 14-year-old last day of school. Woohoo! And the crowd roars. Congratulations, Liam. How does it feel
Thank you.
to to be on the last day? Huh?
It feels fine.
Just fine? All right. Does anybody else remember their last day? What about you, Kristen? Do you remember your last day of school?
Yes, I was very happy.
What about you,
I'm not
Cheryl?
mad at me.
Do you remember? Can you remember when you were finishing up and it was time for summer break?
Yeah, it was always fun.
I had mixed feelings about it. I actually, many times on the last day of school, I felt really sad because I was going to miss the structure. I was going to miss the connection with the teachers, and I knew that was going to be my last time to see those teachers probably. And I was also going to miss my friends. So sometimes I have big, huge mixed feelings. Yay, it's summer, and oh, now what am I going to do? So, Liam, do you have any of those big mixed feelings?
I just have like a big overall feeling of relief and happiness.
Just total relief. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
What about you, Mindy? Have your three kiddos finished up for the year, or where are you in the process?
Yes, they finished last Friday, and they're all totally thrilled to have nothing to do. But they still have to get up early because we have to take them to daycare while Dad and I work.
Aha. Aha. Awesome. Awesome. So you have all three going to someplace this summer? All three kids?
They stay with my mom during the week, and they also are doing swim club. So they have to get up and go swimming every day, and then they have camps that they'll be attending.
So, Mindy, do you think they experience that as a have to or a get to?
Have to. The camps is a get to. The swim is a have to.
Interesting, interesting. So how would you feel if you moved them towards a mutual get to for the summer? Like, do you feel like this is a fight, or do you feel like you've got compliance on your hands?
The swimming is a little bit of a fight. They want to do it. They say they want to do it, but then, getting them there and getting them to participate, on the other hand, is a different topic. It would be great to get them to want to.
So one of the ways I play with this, and congratulations that you have kids that actually tell you what they want and what they need and how they feel. Congratulations. Woohoo! Because if you do have a child that is a complete and total doormat and you say jump and they say, how high, mommy dearest? How would you like for me to respond? What is the perfect way for me to be a perfect child? How can I do everything you want, when you want it, how you want it? That would be more worrisome to me. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. I like the fact that they at least give me a little bit of pushback. I get to hear a little bit about what's on their mind.
Yeah, and so when we get the pushback, it's in the pushback that we can actually get curious with our children. And if they feel safe and comfortable to push back, then we know they're safe and comfortable to be themselves. So my take on that is to actually double dog dare like I did with Liam and say, you get bonus points if you tell me no. You get bonus points when you say, I don't know. You get bonus points when you say something that's politically incorrect that might challenge the status quo. Why would I say that? Why would I actually encourage kids to do that? Cheryl, why would I do that?
So they feel they have some power, so that they start to exercise their own will and get a sense of their own agency.
Yes. What do you say, Kristen? Why would I say this?
I think it's because it's a good idea that kids embrace what they have and embrace their own ideas and their own opinions, and rule breaker for a change.
So, Liam, what are you hearing your mom say?
That sometimes it's good to be defiant.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Is that crazy talk or what?
No, I agree with that.
So what is the benefit of giving children, yourself included, permission to disagree, permission to say no, permission to be defiant? What's the benefit to you personally?
Because it feels like that we have a voice and that we understand that we have a freedom of speech and a freedom of choice.
Okay, cool. What about you, Mindy? What do you think and see as the benefit to actually double dog daring, encouraging, inviting your 3 kids to challenge you? What would the benefit of that be?
I guess off the top of my head, it would reinforce with me why I want them to do what I want them to do. You know, I would have to come up with the reasons and make sure that it's really right. Is it
I
just
like it.
because I said so? You know, I hate that, but sometimes it is.
No, I think you and every other adult and parent on the face of the earth have had those moments. Look, life is too short. I don't have time to justify myself. Just do it because I said so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Cheryl, can you relate? Can you relate or say anything to that of when you've been in that place in the past?
When I had to just lay down the line and say, because I said so?
Well, like, think back a couple of years prior when you had a real super 7-year-old vision,
Mm-hmm.
and you had, your child's plan totally planned out because it was based on what you wanted, when you wanted, how you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember having that experience and having that feeling?
Which feeling are we talking about?
Of wanting to have it your way, do it your way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mindy is brand new to this conversation. So I'm trying to bridge the gap from
Okay.
where it was like for you when you had this original conversation and what it's like for you now. What has kind of been helpful to move from point A to point B?
I think the most helpful thing was to realize that my vision for my son was my vision. And it was based on my own experience, my own observation, my own upbringing, the expectations or my perceived expectations of the people around me, other parents, my family, that the trajectory of my kid was going to be a certain way. And I had no reason to expect otherwise, really. And because of that, when things didn't go as planned or as what I thought was supposed to be the next logical step, it really was jarring for me. And it's taken a while to get used to his own path and having to be okay with that. And there's all sorts of stuff that goes with it. But back then, I know that I was seeking more conventional, more expectations that I had, that I lived through, that I let be placed upon me as a pretty compliant kid and adult most of my life.
Yeah, a compliant adult as well. I get that. Yeah, totally. So, this conversation of compliance and your jobs as mamas. Mindy, would you say you're having fun being a mom right now?
There are moments, of course, but there are some challenges.
Okay, and Cheryl, would you say you're having any more fun as a mom than you were, say, when you were not necessarily?
I would say the fun factor on motherhood right now is pretty low.
Okay.
So that
where would you say what would you say is not fun when you have an expectation and it's not met? Where's the gap? Are you giving more than you want to give? Are you not receiving what you want to receive?
I think it's not knowing, it's never feeling really like I know what the right thing to do is. That I'm
So,
trying different things and it may or may not work. And I've gotten so wrapped up around, um, is this the right thing to do or not the right thing to do? And I mean, I feel like my mistakes have been epic. And so I don't want to repeat that. I don't want to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing and have it turn out to be a complete mess. And so I find myself sort of in this place of neutrality and trying not to be attached to outcomes. But it feels uncomfortable. I haven't been able to find a lot of joy and fun in that sense. I mean,
okay.
yeah.
So, I so resemble you, Cheryl. I resemble this. I don't know if you guys remember me telling this story, but I was in a workshop one time with 300 people in the audience. I was up on stage, and the coach was talking to me, and anybody in the audience had little Post-it notes, and anything they were going to give me a message. And when I sat back down, I had about 50 little Post-it notes that said, but what's right? But how do I do it right? What's the right answer? So I so resemble that. And I can tell you, being right is the booby prize.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely the booby prize, because there is no right way to do anything. It's like, what is going to be more joyful?
Mm-hmm.
You could line up 100 people and 100 would say, do this with your kid. Another 100 would say, do this with your kid. What I'm inviting and challenging and encouraging parents to do is to have that conversation with your child. Mm-hmm. Like, what would be your ideal summer, Liam? So you want to make sure you're getting a lot of sleep. What else? What else would be your ideal summer?
Relaxation.
Okay, so no pressure, not a bunch of stuff you have to do, some chances just to have downtime and be totally relaxed. And what would that look like? What would relaxation time look like?
Chilling in my bed.
Okay, so you want some private, in your space, without being told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to do it, not having to deal with your little brother, and just getting to have your own perfect bedtime. Yes?
Yes.
How much time would you like a day, a week? How much time? Like 24/7, 7 days a week? 1 hour?
About 4 hours, I want to say.
4 hours of what? A day or a week?
A day.
Okay, and so that 4 hours, is that after you wake up? Or is that being able to sleep in late? When is that 4 hours?
Throughout the day.
Okay. Say it again.
Put up into parts or sections.
Okay, split up. So you want some downtime split up. And what do you plan on doing during those 4 hours?
Sleeping, playing my phone, all that sort of thing.
Okay, so, and then the rest of the time, what would you like to do?
Be with the family.
All right, and do you have some specific things that you'd like to do with the family?
Train, playing games, that sort of thing.
Okay, so some family, what was the last one?
Modeling.
Modeling, like building toy models and things?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Kristen? What's your ideal summer with Liam, with yourself, with the kids?
Having the time to do my work, getting enough sleep, but also having some quality time, maybe like once during the week, and then on the weekends to have fun times with the kids. You know, go on field trips, go on little adventures. You know, to get more outing time than you would normally during the year.
Okay. So, Liam, do you agree or disagree with your mom's idea? Are you guys pretty close? Huh?
Yes, I would agree.
And Kristen, do you agree or disagree with Liam's intention?
I agree. I would like to keep them, though, towards that, 4-hour time limit, because sometimes it goes a lot over that. So if he could stick to that, maybe 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon or evening where he's on his phone, I could deal with that. But it's when it goes all day that I have trouble.
Okay, so I'm gonna teach you a tool, and Mindy, this is one of the tools I have. It's like, I call this the Jeopardy game. So Kristen, what you just said is the answer. What I want to invite you to do is turn that answer into a question. So, like, are you guys in a, Liam, are you guys in a place where?
Yes.
Okay, Kristen, can you turn that that answer into a question? Do you know what I mean by that? Let me show you.
Will 4 hours work for you for having personal time?
Or how would you see yourself divvying that up?
Okay. How would you see yourself divvying 4 hours up during the day during summer? I don't understand the question. So you get 4 hours to do your personal time where you get to be on your phone or sleep or rest or whatever you want to do. How do you see yourself divvying that up during the day, every day during the summer?
Like, would you want blank number of hours in the morning, blank number in the afternoon, blank number in the evening?
It depends on what I'm feeling that particular day. Okay.
So is this something that you would want to, so Liam, this is something that you're requesting. So how can you get your mom's buy-in on this every day? So did you guys see that I see where I was going with the answer and then flipped it into a question? You follow me, Cheryl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so based on what you want, Liam, how can you make sure you get that every day? Okay. Do you want to do that the day before? Do you want to do that the morning of?
Morning.
Or do you want to set up an expectation that just is kind of the game plan for the summer, and then you'll tell each other a difference when it's a difference? So like every day I want free time from blank to blank, and I'd like to know that most days this is the way I'm going to do it.
No, not really, because I'm not really a big schedule person. Like, I don't really like planning everything out. I just like doing it day by day basis.
Okay, and do you ever feel like you and your mom argue about this?
No, not really. More you and your stepdad.
Yes?
No, not really with mom.
Okay, so one of the things that I'm wanting to do is create more joy in your life. And if we can find out what your mom and stepdad want and need, and find out what you want and need, then we can create some agreements. I had a conversation like this that I'm having with you guys with another family a couple of weeks ago, and right before they went on a 3-day camping weekend. There were 4 family members. I went around the family. What's an ideal weekend for you? You. How much time would you like to be alone? How much time would you like to be together? What are some of the things that you would like to do? What are some of the things you would like to do? We created a game plan so that we knew everybody's expectations, instead of making assumptions. And they had one of the best trips they've ever had in their life. Prior to that weekend, the mom had actually told me she would not, she didn't even want to go on a camping trip ever again with her kids. So Mindy, what would you like to get set up for you and your 3 kids this summer in an ideal summer? What would your ideal summer look like?
I guess ideally we would be relaxed and my house would be clean. And I think a clean house would make me relaxed.
Okay, all right. So that is an assumption. My question for you is, can you be relaxed if your house is not clean?
Don't know. I feel like it's always nagging me. It's always bugging me. I get home late at night. I leave early. And when I come home, there's all this work to be done still after I've been at work all day long. So it's frustrating. And I still want to put together dinner and do all that stuff. It just seems like it's a never-ending frustration.
So one of the things, I totally get that, by the way. One of the things I talk about is this gap. There's an expectation and there's reality. Everything between expectation and reality is parental stress.
Yep.
So the higher your expectation, the lower the reality, the more stress. What can we change?
Probably our expectation.
Okay, that's one thing we can change to reduce the stress. What else can we change?
Well, then I guess the reality, because the stress, yeah, you got your top and your bottom, your bookends.
Yes, and there's one other option.
Okay.
This is the third option, is to get comfortable with this dissension, to get comfortable with the stress, to get comfortable with the unknown, to get comfortable with the gap, to get comfortable with what is. So I can lower my expectations, I can get comfortable with the gap, or I can work super duper hard with my kids and raise the reality.
Yep.
Which of these 3 would you like to work on?
Honestly, I need to work on the expectation and the reality. A bit of both, I think.
Okay, so if you want some help with the reality, the way I have found buy-in with kids is to give them a voice. When they feel heard, when they get to choose when to clean up, when they get to choose what to clean up, when they get to choose everything about the cleanup. Otherwise, it's all your, it's your problem, not theirs.
Right.
You're the one that has you're the one that has the gap. You're the one that's uncomfortable. You're the one that has this vision, and they may or may not be, it sounds like are not, on board with your vision. So there are a lot of ways to get children enrolled in our vision. What are some things that we can do? What are some ways to get spouses, children, employees, others, how can we get them enrolled in our needs? What do you think they want to hear? Everybody else, what do they want to hear? You want the answer?
Yep.
What's in it for me? WIIFM radio station. Every one of us are tuned in to ourselves, and just because I have something or need something or want something, if I don't get in your shoes, I better have a really big stick and hold it up 24/7. And it is exhausting to manage children from control, shame, manipulation, threat. It's exhausting. True or false?
Definitely true.
So what I have found is I would much rather join them in their experience and have fun with where they are, because it just makes my life more fun, or I want to help them see what the benefit is in my vision. Like, for example, if we get the house cleaned up, I'm going to feel more comfortable having all your friends over, and we could have a party. We could have a pool party this weekend and invite 10 or 15 or 20 kids. If the house is a mess and I'm exhausted, I don't want to do anything fun. Or, you know, one of the things, I get so much more relaxed and I'm such a better mom when things get picked up. Would you guys be willing to spend 5 minutes with me on a blitz every night when after dinner, or when would you like to do a blitz? This is something we did in my family. We'd do a 5-minute blitz. We'd crank up really loud music. It'd be a ton of fun. And we would have a list of everything that needed to be done, and everybody got to put their name by it. I always loved vacuuming because I felt like that was something that you could actually see results. However, when I was asked to vacuum when there was nothing on the floor, it made me crazy. Like, if there was not some dirt to vacuum, why are we vacuuming? Can you relate to that, Mindy?
Actually, if I had a clean floor, I would tell you, but it's never clean.
Okay, so you don't think your children could relate to that one?
They just don't see it. I don't know. I like the idea of creating a blitz list or something like that, and just having something that we can all maybe do together for just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. That might work.
And doing it in a way that's really fun, cranking up their music. Like, find a music station that they love, and everybody dance around and have a cleanup party.
Yep.
And my guess is one of the things that you're going to need to enroll your kids is they are going to want to be enrolled in something other than just having a clean house.
Yeah.
My inner teenager is like, that dog don't hunt. I need something else to live into than just making your life safe by having a clean house. That seems, to my teenage self, that seems boring. That seems not fun. That seems like a bunch of work for no reason. You know, let's don't worry about having it all cleaned up. How about if we clean up once a week? How about if we clean up every other day? How about if we have a day where we just have a messy mess house and everybody has fun with that? Does that make your head explode?
A little bit. We have 1 day a week that they have to do chores, and it's on Saturday after swim, and then they're supposed to have the free weekend after that. But they complain that they don't get other opportunities, like something else always comes up, you know, laundry lags, whatever it is. And they want to be on their computers doing their computer thing.
So anytime these two words come out of your mouth, should or have to, you might as well get ready for defiance.
Okay.
Both internal defiance and child defiance. And another word that triggers the heck out of everybody is why. Why'd you do that? Why did you think that? Why did you say that? Why did you feel that? So I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. That just makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Life is too short. And if we do life from have to, I have to do this and I have to do that, it depletes our playful energy. It depletes our creativity. It depletes any fun. It sucks the fun out of living. So instead, change it to, what do you want to live into next? What would be an ideal summer? How do we want to relate with each other? How can we have more fun together? How can I lift you up in such a way that you love life? Another way to play with this is, in an ideal world, kids, let me start with you, Liam, if you're able to talk to me. Liam, in an ideal world, how clean do you want your house? Liam, can you? Yeah.
Okay.
Liam,
Yes.
Liam. Oh, sorry. Liam, in an ideal world, how clean do you want your house to be?
I'm fine the way it is.
Okay. And Kristen, would you say that your house is super clean?
No.
Okay. Are you fine with the way the house is?
No.
Okay. All right. So this is a very common experience. This is a very common experience. You, the parent, you have an expectation, you have a desire, you have a wish, and the child is not impacted by this. This happens with husband and wife as well. Like the one spouse likes this and the other spouse likes that, and we assume that just because we want it, the other person should be on board with what we want.
Right.
So what are some ways, and notice, Mindy, notice how almost everything that comes out of my mouth is a question. Are you noticing that?
Yes.
Yes.
So if you can turn every single thing that you want to say into a question, it's going to create more of a connection with the person that you're talking to. That was the statement. Now I'm going to turn it into a question. How can I create more connection? Hi, Cleo. How can I create more opportunity and connection by asking the other person to get involved? How can I create more inspiration? How can I meet your needs? How can I get, so let me give you an example. Liam, will you play with me again?
Okay.
Okay, so Liam, here's my question. I want the house clean. You don't. How can I get your buy-in? What's something I could do as a mom or a parent that would get you to want to work with me on this?
Ask nicely, and then I'll probably do it anyway.
Okay, so what would that look like? How would you like for me to say it? Hey, Liam, will you please clean up your room? Would that work?
Yeah.
Really? Really?
I'm so not buying that.
Liam, do you buy, so Kristen, that's your answer. Turn it into a question. So your answer is, I'm so not buying that. Now flip that into a question and get him to engage with you.
Give me an example.
Are you asking Liam or are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
Okay, so hey Liam, can you give me an example of a time that worked?
I mean, I have to say, we asked him to clean his room on Sunday, and he didn't do it. But his
Okay.
version of cleaning his room and my version of cleaning a room are completely different.
So Liam, how can your mom get her needs met when your expectation is different than her expectation?
She can help me walk me through it and show me how she wants me to do it.
I love it. So one of the things that I think is absolutely critical is to ask that question. So especially with spouses, if you have spouses that you say, hey, will you handle the kids, or hey, will you blah, 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 and then as soon as they do it, you tell them, how they screwed it up, or it's not good enough, or they messed it up in a certain amount of ways. What men tell me so often is, I can't win with my wife. I can't win with my wife anyway. I can't win, so I'm just going to let them be in charge of the planning. I can't win because I don't do it right, so I'm going to let them be in charge of the cooking. I can't win, so I'm going to let them be in charge of the cleaning. And this is the same thing that happens to the kids. Like, if there is no way for me to win with you, why would I want to play? If it's not fun to engage with you, why would I want to play? So how do I turn that into a question? I would say, how can I set it up where you get to win? So Mindy, what are you hearing with this conversation? Agree, disagree, anything goes.
I agree with it. I think if I can turn things into a question, I will get their buy-in or their perception of how they would like to meet these needs, and I need to just also explain my expectations and how we try to find a middle ground.
So,
because I'll be happier, then they'll be happier.
So may I give you a tweak? May I give you an upgrade?
Sure.
Okay, so that's the first thing. You ask the question, may I give you an idea? May I give you a tweak? May I give you an upgrade? May I share a suggestion with you? I have a thought. Is it okay if I give you my super 7-year-old perspective? So before you even open your mouth with your kiddos or anybody else on this planet, ask for permission to share your brilliance. And with the kids, they really don't care about your expectation. It's back to what's in it for me. So if I tell, if I share, if I educate, if I yell, how well does that work for a child? Go ahead, Liam.
Oh, sorry. I was just asking Mom.
Okay. So, Mindy, what are you hearing in that upgrade I just said?
That maybe you should offer, you should ask, boy, I'm getting feedback and I can't think. You should ask them if they would like to hear your recommendations.
Okay, awesome. First question. I've got some ideas, I've got some recommendations. Is this a good time? Are you willing to hear it? Do you care? And then they say yes. Then what?
Then you ask if you can share the suggestion, and then you provide it.
So that's what we normally do, and here's where I would give you an upgrade. Instead of ever sharing or telling, which is 99.9% of the time with teenagers gets a rebellious reaction, instead take your expectation and turn it into a question.
So how do I make this room look nice?
So how do I, is that all you want? How do I make this room look nice?
I would like this room to be presentable and clean and not stink and I'm gonna go just down to the base level.
Okay, so Cleo, jump in here. How would you do it? She has 3 teenagers too.
Excellent.
Hi everyone. I'm laughing because I was actually having that conversation with my kids yesterday, and I was in my head prepared myself for the no's primarily because I knew I was going to get a lot of no's, and for me to be okay with it to start. And it's around that, and me asking them, what would that look like for you? And waiting and just hearing their response, which is nowhere near my expectation, but then I was prompting them to, so what, like if we went a little step further, what would that look like for you?
Okay. How did it work? How did it work, by the way? Did you get any support
On
the cleanup?
oh, yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I had to bring my standards down because they're not there with me yet. So I had to meet them halfway. And in my head, I was like, you know what? This is still a heck of a lot better than what we used to have. The only difference that I'm learning to is not to share that emotion with them, but kind of keep it to myself, where I say, oh, hell, this is a lot better. Where instead I say, oh, what do you think about the room now?
Yes, another great question. They bring in a grade instead of you saying, yay, congratulations. I feel so happy. I feel so proud. I feel. Instead, wow, A+, what's that like for you? Clean room. Wow, how does that feel? What's it like for you to have a clean room? And you may be surprised. They may say, I hate it because now I can't find my stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, with the experiment that I shared last week and them just freaking out, wondering what the hell had happened, it helped them see what I see, which I thought just, you know, really blew me away, because they go into their room and they don't see it. They think it's great. They think it's fine. But then they saw it in my room and they were like, holy crap, is that what you see in our room? And I was like, wow.
Cleo, share that again. What did you do and what happened? Give us a thumbnail reminder of that.
For a couple of days, what I did was I created my room to look like theirs. I was throwing my shoes, and I had so much fun doing it, by the way. Just getting home, throwing my shoes, taking off my clothes, throwing my pants in one direction, my shirt. I did laundry. I emptied the basket of clean clothes on top of my bed, and I was sleeping just on a sliver of that. My shoes, everything was just all over the place. And and I had a series of glasses going on my nightstand, and I was just going above and beyond. And they walked in and were like, what happened? You know, and they were like, oh my God, look at your room. And I'm sitting there going, what's wrong with it? I like it. Oh, look, yeah, it's okay. You know, it's easier to find my clothes this way. And they were just freaking out. And then my 16-year-old said, is that what you see when you go to our room? And I'm like, yeah. And
he really asked you that. He really asked you that. Is that what you see?
Is that what you see when you go to my room? And I'm like, wow. Well, what are you? And I was playing dumb. I was like, well, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with. And I was being them. You know, I was letting my teenager play and go, I don't know what you're talking about. And I would walk away. And they'd follow me like, we're not done. And I was just like, wow, this is so much fun. And to actually see them go, I didn't ask them to clean their room. I didn't say anything. And they ended up picking up the room, not to my expectations, but, you know, each of them came down with at least a bag of trash. And I was like, it's a start. You know? Yes. But it was amazing. And ladies, I had a blast. I had a blast not having to worry about, you know, dirty clothes with clean clothes, and it was so much fun. Really fun.
So I so love that. Cheryl, what do you think hearing that? What's your take on that?
Well, as you know, Cleo is my hero.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think she did great. You know, I'm really inspired by, you know, what she does and how her boys respond to her, and
daughter.
I just can't get her kids, how her kids respond to her. I really can't get my head around having my room look like my son's room.
But you
That
know
would
what?
just
It's
be-
so much fun.
That's what I want you guys to get is when you can play with your own inner teenager, your life will never be the same again. And the fear is if I turn into a teenager, I'll never pay my bills, I'll never have a clean room again, I'll never work again, I'll never. The reality is just the opposite. It's like when I give myself permission to be a complete defiant teenager and not make my calls, take a power nap in the middle of the day, fill in the blank, anything, any of my non-perfectionistic stuff. I then later come back with a whole new life choice that I get to choose to have the energy to clean it up. Not because some, thought in my head tells me I should and ought to. I get to choose it. And this is the same thing for the kids. They get to choose instead of be forced into or have to or should. So Mindy, what do you hear when you hear Cleo talking about this?
Well, I'm like the other person said, it's inspiring. I would like to maybe get to that point, but I don't know how I could handle having my room. It's already kind of a wreck anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I'll work on this. That's what I'll say. Just not there yet, but I'm willing to give some of this a shot.
Baby steps.
That's right.
And you know what, ladies? It's not easy. And I know I make it sound like it was easy and what have you. It got easier with me just coming on these calls more than anything and going, you know what? Yeah, this is just an experiment. You know what, buddy? This is on you because I can't make you. And my whole transition within the last, months has not been easy. And it's an internal battle with me and saying, ugh, but then I turn it around to say, you know what? I'll be a teenager. I'll be like them. And I'm going to have fun with it. And my room's getting there again now. And it's like, oh, shoot, what happened, right? But I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And the beauty of it, and I've said it before, the stress that I've been able to release, I could not begin to tell you how good it feels that I tell Beth, I'll call her and I say, I'm so fucking scared. I am scared because I don't feel that stress that I used to feel. Because Beth has taught me to say, you know what, buddy, it's on you. And realizing that, but still being that force and the support for him. And I just like, oh my God. And just one last thing. My kids tell me what happened to mommy. I think she's been abducted. It's taken time. Yeah.
So, a lot of us did not get to do this with our parents. We didn't get loved for being who we were. We got loved for what we did.
Yeah.
We didn't get accepted for our beingness. We got accepted for our results. And so many of us as adults, we never get to feel good enough. Now our results become our kids. So now we feel like we're being judged not only by our own results, but also we're being judged by our kids' results.
God, that sucks.
Yeah, that's very true.
It so sucks. Doesn't that suck, you guys? I just freaking
yes.
Yes,
it sucks.
So here's the way through the eye of the needle. And I have gone through the same experience myself. It is falling in love with what is, and then giving myself permission to choose what's next. So let's say I'm 80 pounds fat, 80 pounds heavier. I first am going to fall madly in love with who and how and the size I currently am. Then I'm going to say, okay, what do I want to do next? I want to dance. What I want to do next? I want to eat healthy. But if I am 80 pounds heavier and I tell myself, I suck, I suck, I suck, I suck, all that makes me want to do is go eat more bonbons. Same thing with my kids. If I feel like with my kids, I suck, I suck, I suck, it makes me just want to hate them. I don't want to engage with my kids. I hate them because I'm hating myself every time I look at them. But if I can love what is, love their defiance, love their messiness, love their lack of follow through, love their failure, then they get to be loved for who they are. And then they can make a new choice. I'm going to do a Facebook Live. I'd love to do a Facebook Live with each and every one of you and talk about different things. There's a mom, I don't know if you guys have met or heard me talk about Dr. Z. Have you guys seen Dr. Z? So,
Yes.
So when I first started, she did a TV show with me, and she's been on many of the Power Hours, and she just sent me a picture. And if you go to my website, drbeth.com, and scroll down to the testimonials, which, by the way, I would love and appreciate anybody that is willing to share a testimonial and that I can put up. I would love, love, love it as an inspiration to other parents. So that this is possible, and there are some ways to have fun, and it doesn't have to be, you know, if you have any inspiration that you can give other parents, that's my request. But this mom, if you'll see this picture, the kid is picking her up, and she has both of her feet off the ground kicking, and there was no support for Dr. Z. Everybody in her life told her she's doing it wrong. She's not being, she just was criticized. And the thing she kept telling her kid from the age 3 till 18 was, this is an experiment. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. We're going to figure this out together. And I have so many people that I started working with 15 years ago, and now I'm getting to see some of the results of my crazy Dr. Bethisms and my crazy Dr. Beth's way of doing things. And it's really, really super fun to, like, I have one kiddo that I worked with that his arm he couldn't feel his arm. And he's now, by me taking what is perfect and divine about his arm not working, he now is a pro in one of the baseball leagues. So by taking kids that one of them was a professional dancer, they took a year off and were completely defiant and chose not to dance with this brilliant dancing professional kid. It chose not to dance, took a year off, came back even stronger, more powerful, more amazing. Another kid took an entire year off and didn't go to school. That same kid graduated early their senior year. I mean, I can just give you example after example after example of, when we own it, our children don't. When we're attached, it makes us miserable, and the kids look at us like, why do I want to be you? You look miserable. You do not look like you are having fun with life. Why would I want to grow up and be you or do anything you're doing? But if you do some of these crazy things that Cleo is doing, the kids actually are seeking to model her. I had another mom that did a clutter clearing, and what the mom was going through unconsciously, her 13-year-old daughter came to her room with 8 bags of clothes to throw away. The mom never said a word. She just started doing her own clutter clearing, and her 13-year-old daughter, on her own accord, brought 8 bags of clothes to take to Goodwill without saying one word. I mean, I could just give you example after example. So Cheryl, Mindy, Kristen, Cleo, My question for you is, what's your ideal summer? How do you want to have fun this summer? What does your inner teen want to live into? And it's 1:02. So I'm going to leave it at that, drop the mic, boom.
We were
And
going to brainstorm, Dr. Beth, we were going to brainstorm about ideas for next week.
oh, yes. Thank you, Kristen. So if anybody has a particular topic that you would like for me to bring up next week, let me know. And I'm also going to have a night class and a day class. So either Monday night or Tuesday night. Hello. So either Monday night or Tuesday night. Do you guys have a preference? Monday night or Tuesday night?
I don't.
Okay, so what are topics that you would like to have on those calls? If you can send me a text, and next time I'll bring it up. I didn't realize we're already at 4 minutes after. So Cheryl, what's your takeaway word?
Fun.
Woo!
Yay.
Cleo, what's your takeaway word?
Playful.
Mindy, what's your takeaway word?
Joy.
Kristen, what's your takeaway word?
Excitement.
Liam, what's your takeaway word?
Fun.
I'll take it. And mine is gratitude that you parents are in this world raising next world leader kids that are going to have this information instead of in their 40s and 50s. They're going to have this information in their teens. Can you imagine how powerful they're going to be? Can you even imagine? Lights me up. Okay, everybody, I will be posting this recording. Don't forget that in the membership site, we have all the past recordings. And I am loving everybody having their say. So let me know what you want me to talk about. We'll keep talking about summer and ideals next week unless I hear something new. Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Beth.
Bye.
Bye.